So, yesterday, Luton won 1-0 away from home in the Championship. It was our first win of the season, and in today's video, I'm here to give you 5 things which I believe we learn from the game. But before I start, please drop a like, comment, subscribe, do all those 3 things. It helps the channel grow, and the channel has been growing very well recently. So please keep doing all those 3 things. And yeah, let's get on with today's video. So number 1, Edwards is not scared to drop in Elijah and Morris. We did see it last season, but we haven't seen it so far this year. And he decided to only play one of them. And he ended up playing Elijah. Out of the 2, I do think Elijah is the better striker. He's also younger. He's more, I think he's unpredictable at times. Elijah could do a little bit of everything. Whereas Morris, I feel like sometimes can be one-dimensional. And could be really easily, like, you can defend against. I felt the Millwall defenders, they had a good afternoon against Elijah. Millwall, they're a very physical team. They can be very tough at times. And yes, Elijah may have not put in a 8 out of 10 performance, but I do think he also put in a shift. 2 very good defenders in Cooper. Very established centre-half at this level, has had very good years throughout his Millwall career. Tanganga, former Tottenham defender, he's got that quality. He looks really good in that centre-back role, and if he can stay fit, he's probably going to progress his career and go back to the Premier League, because that's how good he is. And then they had another established centre-half come on at half-time for Cooper when he got injured in Hutchinson. So, you know, he had a long afternoon, Elijah, and that's why I think Edwards thought, yeah, he needs to be replaced here. Let Morris, a more fresher Carlton Morris, come on and battle against him. And even Morris struggled a little bit. But what Elijah does is he kind of distracts the 2 main centre-halves, and what that does is it allows Chong, it allows Clark to have this massive amount of space to be able to perform really well and show off their qualities. And I thought them 2 did it extremely well. Edwards mentioned after the game they worked on it in training, and you can clearly see that they did, because Morris and Chong and also Clark had so much freedom, had so much space to end up causing Millwall plenty of problems. And Chong and Clark could have also got a goal against Millwall as well if they actually did better with their opportunities. So despite Elijah not performing well, if players around him can do the job, that's what matters the most. So that's the first thing I felt we learned from the game. Second thing, Amari Bell does not always have to be a left-sided centre-half. We can cope without him being a left-sided centre-half. We can play him as a wing-back, which is his main position, which is his most natural position. And we can play a back 3 of Menji, McGuinness, and also Reece Burke, who I also felt were brilliant together. In fact, I thought the whole back 5, back 6 if you count the goalkeeper, were brilliant against Millwall. And I do feel like that should be our defence going forward. Now, yes, there will be a question mark on Walters coming into the side. Where does Walters fit in? I feel like you can't really change a winning team. There'll be some games where we have to change it anyway with Saturday, Tuesday. Players can't do that amount of, game load within a short period of time, so we may have to change it about. But against these more physical Championship teams, you can 100% play that back 5. Against the more ball playing teams, maybe we can play Amari Bell as a left-sided centre-half and then put Alfie left wing back and Walters right wing back to be a little bit more ball playing. So we can change it up a little bit, which is really good to see. I don't like us being easily predictable at all times. Against certain teams, you have to play a certain way. Our plan A isn't always going to work. So against Millwall, a more physical side, I felt we coped with it quite well. And the only way Millwall were going to score was through our mistakes, which actually nearly did happen. But it's good to see that Amari Bell, left wing back, he can still do the job there. And he's more of a defensive side of things. We didn't see him push forward as much. We were more predictable going down the right hand side to Alfie. But even then, we were still causing Millwall all sorts of problems. Number 3, Walsh and Nakamba work extremely well together in the midfield. When I first saw the starting 11, I was like, oh, Nakamba and Walsh are in the midfield together. interesting. Nakamba does the doggy work, does the defensive side of things. There's a stat about Nakamba. We've only lost one championship game in 18 appearances. With Nakamba in the side, which is really good. So it just shows you how strong we are when we've got Nakamba in the team compared to when he's not in the team. But what Nakamba does is it allows Walsh to push on and help the attack. And with Walsh's really good technical abilities, passing range, I think he's going to be a really good signing and one of the most underrated signings of the season. A lot of people had a lot of question marks over Walsh because of his injury record. Like, Swansea ended up releasing him. Why on earth would Swansea release him? Well, this is what happens when he can be fit and raring to go. And Edwards says there's more about his game to come, which I'm really excited to see. He is going to lose the ball a couple of times because he tries those risky passes. He tries to, he tries to find those through balls where it breaks through the lines. If they pay off, you can score from those types of passes. If they don't, yeah, there will be times where, oh no, we're on the back foot here. But when you've got players like Nakamba who can recover and win the ball back, you can risk doing that. It's like that risk balance reward system. So look, Walsh, the more game time he gets, the better I think he's going to become. But yeah, he did impress me, and Nakamba, of course, just impresses me. But yeah, those two, I'm really happy with how they looked in the midfield together. Number 4, although he did save us in the game, Kaminsky's saves were brilliant. His kicking is really starting to frustrate me at times, and I really want him to use his head a little bit more. Yes, Edwards wants to start playing out from the back a little bit more. He wants us to be a lot more braver in possession. I've got no issues with that. However, our goalkeeper, you need to have strong kicking in order to do that. I don't expect you to be the best passer in the team, but if there is pressure and Millwall were piling on the pressure, I don't want to see the ball go out for a throw-in. I want to see plan B, give it to Elijah, give it to him. Now, when you're playing out from the back, there will be times where you will lose the ball in dangerous situations. As long as you've got cover, it's fine, and you can obviously get away with it a little bit. But there were too many times with his kicking against Millwall where he would try to go long, but it would go out for a throw-in, or it wouldn't even reach Elijah, or it's going the complete opposite end on where Adebayo is. Now, when you go long with Elijah, there's a 50-50 chance he's going to win a header. If he doesn't win the header, you win the second battles. If he doesn't win the second battles, you win the third battles, and so on. That's what I want us to be. He needs to use his brain on when's the right pass to happen and when's it right to go long. I don't care if Edwards is screaming out wanting, we have to play. Every pass has to be on the floor around the Millwall attackers. No, if we're under pressure, use your common sense and don't invite more pressure by gifting them the ball, because that's what happened a few times against Millwall. I felt we were totally in control of the game, but because we were worrying on the possession, keeping possession, we ended up just losing the ball, gifting them the opportunity to cause us problems. Against a better attacking team in terms of quality, going forward, I feel like they would have taken much more of advantage of that situation. But you can only play what's in front of you. But he needs to use his brain a lot more. I'm not saying don't pass out, but there's a time to do it and then there's not a time to do it. Just he needs to find the right balance between the two. And finally, the last thing which I believe we learned from the game against Millwall was Edwards was just not happy. He looked very disappointed in his interview after the game. He said it was the worst we've played. I felt the second half was poor. It became a dogfight in the end, but it was a dogfight which we ended up winning. It just became a really old-fashioned championship match where it was just who could be a little bit more physical, who can win the battles, and so on. And we overcame it, and we ended up getting the win in the end. He wants us to be more, obviously, of course, more braver in possession. I completely understand that. And that is far from what he wants to see going forward. It's going to take time. We need to keep installing this winning mentality within the group because we've lost so many games recently. but a win against Millwall should be the start of something really good. You win against Sheffield Wednesday, the confidence goes from like here straight away up here. You know, it was down here probably at Millwall. It's gone here now. So you keep winning games of football. You keep building on form. We've got some tough games coming up. We've got Sunderland at home, who look very good on paper, and then you've also got Sheffield United away from home, which at the moment looks the toughest game out of the 5, which we've got in this short period of international break. So look, I know he's disappointed and I know he wants more. It will come. With players coming back from injury as well, it will come. Players are slowly building up their match fitness, especially the ones that have been out injured, which is good. It's good to see them coming back. But yeah, I'm really excited on what could potentially happen going forward. I'm not taking the Millwall game in the performances wise as like, oh my god, this is the best we've got. I know we can get better, and I know we will get better. So yeah, those are the 5 things which I believe we learn from the game. But yeah, I can understand why Edwards is a little bit frustrated, but he should let himself go a little bit. Look, you've got to win. First time in a while. It's coming. More is definitely coming. But yeah, those are my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section of the video. And yeah, I'll see you all in the next video.